We had our own medical people, and they try to administer whatever they could.
How did this affected you so that you went into the barracks to try to help them? Is that what the effect had on you?
More or less, but then they were all getting out of the barracks and just collapsing in front of you. They were so weak.
How did you communicate with them?
I didn't know their language.
What was the emotional condition of the survivors? Could you tell?
I think they were the ones that I ran across were too ill to even talk.
Do you know what happened to them after you left?
Well, they were dying, I can tell you that.
But did some people leave? Were some survivors able to leave?
That I do not know.
Did you witness any violent actions between survivors and guards other than that
No.
one? Other than that one that you saw on the road?
Yeah, no. Not inside. Like I said, their infantry had already driven out the German soldiers, and they went into the hills, I believe.
Who guarded the camp afterwards? Were there any guards there? Did the U.S. Army post guards?
Oh, yeah.
That was from that Ohio infantry battalion?
I'm not sure, or was it a special unit?
But there were guards
Yeah.
there.
We had to leave and continue our, like it was before the end of the war, so.
So, but somebody did stay and guard the camp?
Yes. And there was a medical team that came in.
Did you see any piles of material possessions like clothing or shoes or
No.
did you see any physical remains?
Yes, lots.
Where were they?
Some were in the barracks, some were outside the barracks, because they had a chance to get out, breathe fresh air. And they were just collapsing in front of you.
Did you see any artifacts made from prisoners' remains?
No. We didn't say that, no.
Did you see any written German camp records?
No. Officers had taken over.
As far as extermination was concerned, you saw the barracks that we used the gas in?
Yes.
And you saw the crematory?
Crematories.
Did they have a gallows?
No, I didn't see any.
Did you see any place where they did medical experimentation?
No.
Did you see any punishment devices?
No.
Mass graves?
Yeah, like the ones that we provided for them. The refugees were digging their own for their own dead refugees, and then my battalion commander, Colonel Ahi, we had a bulldozer in front of one of the tanks, and we dug a big long trench, maybe 100 feet long, 6 to 8 feet wide, about 4, maybe 5 feet deep. And that's where they put the remains of the dead refugees.
And we have some pictures we'll show.
Yes.
We'll see that later. What were your feelings toward the Germans before you saw the camps?
I don't know. When you get shot at, you shoot back. That's all I can tell.
Did your feelings change after you saw camps?
Maybe a little bit. But then if you see your buddies die, it's
Yeah. Did you have any contact with U.S. or Allied war crimes investigations units?
no.
Okay. And you don't know the name of the town near the, was there a city near this camp when you went to it? Did you see a town that you went through before or after?
Could have been Steyr, Austria.
Was it near any town? Or was it out in the country?
No, Steyr was on the Danube River. And we went through there. And of course the tanks go shoot out most of the things, and the infantry comes up and cleans everything else up.
But the camp wasn't near a town?
That I cannot remember.
Okay.
It's probably, I do have records at home and I didn't remember to bring them.
Okay. Were there civilians around the camp? On the roads?
Yes, some of them.
What did they do when they saw you?
They try to get away.
Did they help bury the dead?
No, just the inside refugees.
They didn't bring any civilians in to see the camps? Nobody?
I don't believe.
Did you meet any civilians who said they helped escaping refugees or
We didn't have
prisoners?
too much contact with civilians.
Were you told to protect the refugees or the civilians at any point in time? Did anybody, other than that one time that those Germans were not taken prisoner?
Well, we were supposed to come in contact. It's called fraternization with the Germans or any civilians or.
And that was against the rules?
Oh yeah.
Okay. This is probably the most difficult part of the interview, because I want to know about your thoughts and feelings that you had during this liberation. Can you recall any conscious thoughts about God or religion while being in that camp?
A lot.
Could you share it?
Well, I'm Catholic, so you prayed a lot, I can tell you that.
Did you ever did you ever wonder if you would have retained your faith if you'd been a prisoner?
I guess I never thought about it. I know they were mistreated like crazy.
Do you view the camp experiences as primarily a Jewish experience?
I believe that I guess about 75% were Jewish.
Has the experience affected your sensitivity to the sufferings of other people?
Yes.
How do you feel about the rise of terrorism today and against the Jewish people, and and also the the rise of neo-Nazism in the world?
They're crazy. They're sick.
Have you ever gone back to Germany?
No.
Would you go?
I almost went back to France once, and of course then I would have run into Germany. By the time I got out of the service, I could speak a little German, so because you were associated with it. It's unbelievable.
Has this experience affected your life in a personal way other than what we've discussed now, up until now?
I think not now, but when I got out of the service, I have nightmares.
Nightmares of the fighting or of the camps?
Camps and fighting.
Do you have any difficulty when you recall the experience today?
I don't think so, but I'm really not sure.
Did you ever tell anyone about the camp liberation experiences
Yes,
when you came back or later on?
later on. Because people just they didn't believe you.
Have you heard about some attempts to deny that this ever happened?
Don't believe me.
You have.
You better believe it.
And what do you tell them?
I said, if you were there, you'd believe it. And then I'd bring the pictures out. I carried them with me. I said, what do you see? Dead bodies. This is a concentration camp.
What motivated you to come and talk about your experiences now?